What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gen. In this video, we're going to be talking about how you can protect your coins. I know we usually talk about how you can get those gains. Well, today it's about keeping them with an increased focus on security. Before we get into the video, though, just remember two things. I am not a financial advisor. As well, I am not sponsored by any of these services or tools that I'm going to show in this video. So to kick us off, the main ways that people have lost their money in crypto is what you're typically used to seeing. People will hear about a project from a friend not really know what's going on. They follow people on Twitter, not doing their own research. So they end up investing in garbage projects. That's one part of it. Another part is they invest in memes. Now, all meme tokens have a huge run up and then a slight cool off. So yes, there are some meme projects that I don't want to say stood the test of time, like Shiba Inu, but there's no value being generated here. It's just there for the laughs. And some people will buy this token hoping for greater fool's theory that somebody will buy it for a higher price after the fact. And it's basically a game of chicken. I'll tell you something. I was on Injective. I was trading meme coins. And for every meme coin, I held a position. And let me tell you something. All the times I took profits, I made out like a bandit. And all the pieces I left behind all ended up going to zero. And that's to be expected, right? And like I said, I knew that this is all house money, taking like 3-4x worth of profit beforehand. The second way that people lose money in crypto is they get so bullish on something that they hold on the entire run up, and then it's peaked, it's going down, they continue to hold. And this is where the sort of buy high, sell low meme comes from, is people don't want to buy until they feel like everyone's buying it. It's green. I don't want to miss out that FOMO. But then they hold through the entire euphoria cycle and they end up coming on the other side waiting for the next bull run. There's a meme out there saying like, I forget what it looks like, but it was like that one of those meme people, and it was like you joined the project for a swing, but now you're part of the community. And I think I know a lot of people have dealt with one project or another at some point in time where they felt that way, where like they got in for a swing trade and now they're there for a much longer period of time. But today we're not here talking about that. Today we want to talk about security, because let me tell you, this is probably the worst feel bad moment. And the reason I say that is when you invest in garbage, when you didn't put your time in, you invested in memes, or you sort of held conviction in something and held throughout the entire euphoria cycle without ever taking any profits, trimming, etc. That was a decision that you made. And yes, like poor crypto security, that's a lack of a decision, but it's like someone robbing you. This is the place where you feel very helpless, because no matter if you did all the right moves, it doesn't matter because somebody has taken your funds. In my perfect world, I wish there was like a much more severe punishment for scammers, for hackers, because it is a crime that people seem to get away with, and there is no real punishment. I haven't seen anything. Correct me if I'm wrong. Comments down below. And I was really just heartened to see this tweet yesterday, which, by the way, this is not a unique tweet in the sense like, yes, I feel bad for the guy, and I hate the people who are admonishing him in the comments, how that's disgusting and how dare you. But it's just, I see this happen so often, and it like really breaks my heart, because people put a ton of time into this space, a ton of research. This guy, Tree Fire Smoke, even he says that he's seen it happen many times in this space, and he's always practiced safe habits. And now somebody had hacked him, somebody had sort of installed a keylogger, and through that, everything that he has gained has returned to nothing. He was up like 70 Sol, which is like $7,000 around, right? Because Sol's $100 when I sort of do this video. Basically, he found out that it was some sort of malware or keylogger maliciously installed on my laptop from a Web3 game called Swift Down. He's deleted Phantom Wallet from his phone, laptop being wiped. He's got to start from nothing. Now, definitely if you're able to support him, send him a bone, send him some tokens. This is sort of how the community stays there. It sucks to see this, right? Like, one of the things is I was going to make this video in like a few weeks. Seeing this tweet just reminded me, hey, look, it doesn't matter. This is as time sensitive as ever, because one of the things you've got to remember is crypto hacks are common, but they weren't as common when everything was going down. Now that like all these junk tokens are like at all-time highs, or they've gone up 300, 400%, we're about to hit a bull run. These scammers are out in full force, and they wouldn't try so hard if it didn't work. And there's tons of ways they get through that. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to go through some of the things you are probably doing wrong or could do better, and present some things that you should consider. Am I saying this is the be end, or the be end all end, or whatever? Like, am I saying this is the only thing you have to do? Probably not. I'm sure there are other things you can do as well to bolster your security. Would love to hear from you guys. Post in the comments below about your opinions. But I'd say the first issue comes down to wallet security. So a lot of people love the convenience of MetaMask, of Phantom, of Keplr, and only using it by itself. So they have a browser extension, and there is no security. If somebody was to access your computer, let's say I've heard stories about this where this happened more with Cash App, but like guys would give their phone to a girl to put her number in, and she would Cash App them, or Cash App herself, some money very quickly, because they're very quick at doing this. Imagine them going onto your MetaMask on your phone, putting in like something.ens or something, because it's very short, sending it off, and you have no idea until much later. This kind of stuff happens. And that's obviously, I'm giving you like the cute example, right? Like you're doing a pickup or something. But imagine like somebody gets a hold of your phone, somebody hacks your computer, installs a keylogger. It becomes very easy at that point to just take control of the wallet and send funds out. And unlike traditional finance, at least when you're in the bank, like, one of the bonuses is they have a fraud department, and the fraud department will come back and get your money get your money straight. I've had so many times where my card has gotten compromised. It has been because I've used it at gas stations. This typically ends up being the biggest place where like a logger is installed, and they do a ton of fraudulent transactions, and the bank will investigate it to make sure that it's not just me doing whatever, and eventually I get my money back. That's not the case in crypto. Once it's gone, it's gone. So the thing I would say is I highlighted here in white the things that are most important. So it's not a problem to use MetaMask, Phantom, or Keplr. You just don't want to use them separately. You want to combine them with a hardware wallet, right? And the reason I say that, right, and here are some of the hardware wallets. So there's the Nano Ledger on the left. There's the Grid Lattice Plus. I used a Ledger and a Lattice. There's also the Keystone, which is right here. I have one right here. Tried it out. I'm not the biggest fan of it. What is nice about it is it does sort of work with all the tokens. The only one it doesn't work with for me right now is Keplr. They're working on something, because like I have an iMac, and trying to scan the stupid QR code is impossible from an iMac because it doesn't have the QR code scan. So that's the only complication. But these are 4 decent choices. And using a hardware wallet, yes, is it inconvenient every single time you're doing a transaction to confirm it here? Sure, but it takes a few seconds, and that peace of mind is so good, right? Because what you do with this is you have a ledger, and you're sending like $20 to a protocol. You go in here, you confirm it. Let me tell you something. I moved over to a hardware device like maybe 2.5 years ago, and honestly, it has been the best thing ever. I don't have to worry about anything there. No one can take my funds without me like confirming it here, or it's hard to. I'm going to talk about the way that they can, and that's another gap that we have to close. But any one of these 4 hardware wallets is good. Like I said, I am not in any way affiliated or sponsored by them. In fact, I'm not even going to use the referral code for Ledger if you want to use it, because like I said, my ultimate goal with this video here is to get you guys to think about your crypto security. So that's the first step, right? So you can use your MetaMask, you can use your Phantom, you can use your Kepler. Just make sure you tie it to a hardware device that is basically an authenticator. Remember, your crypto is on the blockchain. These are just the keys to get it. So it's just a 2-factor authentication device for your MetaMask or for your Phantom or for your Kepler or for your Solflare, for whatever. The next thing I would do is when you're going back and you're buying these, these hardware wallets, sometimes you'll see, hey, on Amazon, hey, somebody's selling it for cheaper. I'm going to buy it from them. It's a way better deal. I've saved $10 on this $200 hardware wallet. Never, ever buy a hardware wallet who is from the non-official manufacturer. In fact, I don't even use Amazon to buy these wallets. I wouldn't trust it. I would just go for that peace of mind, just buy it direct from the manufacturer's website, and that's it. If somebody has already, used their device and no longer needs it, I personally would not use that to store any crypto of significant value, just because you never know what could be installed. And it's not saying that, the person giving it to you has done it, but whoever they got it from, it could have also been the same thing. I just don't want to deal with that mess. It's literally a few $100s, one-time investment, peace of mind. Now, the reason I love the Lattice Grid Plus, and sort of this is my main use. So like when I'm at home, I use the Lattice One. When I am on the road, I use my Ledger, and it's because it is so convenient. So I have a Ledger right here. I'm just gonna unplug it and show you guys. So here is my Ledger. Maybe I'll unplug the Lattice. So this is the Lattice, right? So the Lattice, the reason I like it so much is I can create multiple wallets. With a Ledger, you have to use like one ledger for each wallet. With the Lattice, you have the main system is one wallet, and then you can buy cards like this, like a credit card that you put in, and it can be, each of these is a wallet. And I love it because, on the back of it, this one I used it as giveaway account, but you can see here, I put all my giveaways in this account, right? I have one for crypto storage, like big account. So I do that, and this allows me to be very organized. And what I love about the Lattice One Grid Plus is you read every transaction on here. When I'm on Ledger, the issue is I don't get to see like everything. It's like very, very tiny. The bonus on Ledger or the benefit of Ledger over the Grid Plus, and the reason I still have a Ledger is I cannot use Solana, and I don't know how to use Kepler on the Lattice Grid Plus. The Lattice Grid Plus is for EVM chains only, at least that's what I believe right now. I think they're working on getting that fixed, or not fixed, but updated. So that's just, some of my thoughts on it. But remember, don't buy it from a third party, buy it direct from the distributor. The next thing I would say here is poor seed phrase management. And this is a ton of different topics. So I know people who when you get your seed phrase. So let's say you bought a Ledger, right? And when you're doing the Ledger device setup, it tells you, hey, here's like a document you fill in, like they give you a piece of paper and you're supposed to write all 24 words on it. So you write the 24 words, and then most people will take their phone and go, okay, I'm gonna take a photo of it, take a photo. And by doing that, they've already compromised the security. Because remember, if anyone ever gets access to the seed phrase, they can just create the ledger now, and they're able to authenticate, right? So you want to make sure that you never put it anywhere digitally. It should never see a computer. It should never be typed in. So some people will type in their seed phrase into a wallet. I refuse to do that. I will only use the import option. So not import, sorry, the connect hardware wallet, because it connects to the hardware wallet, and the hardware wallet has that seed phrase. So it doesn't need to get typed in. This prevents any sort of key logging attempts or any sort of issues that may be associated with your computer from revealing your seed phrase. I am not allowing that seed phrase to go anywhere on my computer. anywhere. It is literally stored, and I use device like this. So this is a device. I'm not going to open it because then you could see my seed phrase from one of my wallets. But you could basically, you open it up here, and inside between the two is the actual seed phrase of this wallet. It's 24 words. So I like this because it's very handy. You label them, you put them in certain locations. We'll talk about that later, but never take a picture of it. You should always store it in person. You either write it down, maybe you put it in a safety deposit box, maybe you sort of do it this way so you have it. This is fireproof. So like the metallic thing that I showed you, if anything happens and the fire goes on, I'm good. This is going to be safe. Okay. Everything else is destroyed, but at least my my seed phrase is fine. Then I also think you shouldn't split your seed phrase. Some people will split their seed phrase and go, hey, I'm so smart, I'm going to do, and I used to do this. So this is something I learned. I used to split my seed phrase in halves. I used to do it in thirds and halves. There's no point. Number one, when you do that, you literally make it even harder to recoup it. I'm sure you've heard the story of the person who can't remember their password for their iron key for their Bitcoin. Imagine doing everything right. No one's able to steal your crypto, but then you can't access it because you have 2 out of 3 of the seed phrase words, right? So you have 16 out of 24. Is it 16 out of 24? Yeah, 16 out of 24. So it's no point, and there's no real upside on splitting it either. If they have 16 of the words or 12 of the words or whatever, they are able to use that to brute force the rest. So you don't want them having that, right? So it's no point having it split. A way to get around this actually, and this is a recent change, you can add a 25th word. It's kind of like it's called a passcode. And by doing the 25th word, you add that on top of your seed phrase, and no one's going to be able to guess that, right? You can pick whatever word you want on top of it. And that's a way to protect your crypto. The next question I also have here is, if you were to pass away, can your loved ones access your crypto? So it's good enough to be secure, but then you got to think about your legacy, right? A lot of us, we're here for the long term. And yeah, we may be 20 or 30 years old today when we're getting our crypto. What about the future when something happens to us? Do the people who matter the most to us, will they be able to access that crypto? Think about that. Think about that plan. Either you put it in your will, so there's very clear instructions. You want to have it somewhere. Remember, you don't want to leave these pieces of paper hanging around in your house because your housekeeper could see, like, I'm not saying they would, but let's say your housekeeper sees the seed phrase. They can just wait, they can monitor your account, and a year and a half later, take everything. And you would have no idea. So you literally don't want to have any exposure of your seed phrase. This is why I believe bank safety deposit boxes are really good. Now, that is really the seed phrase management piece of it. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I know a lot of people will do this first step. So they have a hardware wallet. Okay, cool. The second step, they have, proper seed phrase management. So they're not, they're using the metallic piece. They have everything here, but then they're only using one wallet. And this opens us up to some more risks. My opinion, you should at a minimum have 2 wallets. One wallet type is your storage wallet. It stores the majority of your tokens. So it has your ETH, it has your Bitcoin, and it only has one interaction. It can only interact with your hot wallet. You are not connecting this to Trader Joe's or any DEX. And I'm not saying, Trader Joe's is a bad DEX because I use it a lot. You don't want to connect it to anything. Why? Because once again, this is your bank account. This is where the majority of your funds are going to be, like your crypto bank. You do not want anything going wrong here. It is literally going to stay by the side and just, appreciate in value. If you want to sell, you send from your storage wallet to your hot wallet, and then you can sell some crypto, send it to a centralized exchange, or withdraw it in person. This is the best way to go, right? That's sort of how I do it. That's the thing. The second thing is your hot wallet. This is your everyday use wallet. So this is like still secure, right? But you use it to farm airdrops. You use it to interact with smart contracts. You use it to swing trade projects. This is what's interacting with everything. Because when you're signing a ton of protocols, remember, you can make a mistake, sign the wrong thing. The next thing you know, all your assets are drained. You don't want that either, right? So you want to make sure that your hot wallet is only going to be the one that has a small amount of tokens, right? You don't want it to have a ton, just enough to get whatever done. And then that's it. Once you're done and you finalized whatever, send it back to your storage wallet. Okay, great. I made half a Bitcoin. I'm going to send that half a Bitcoin back to my storage wallet until a time comes where I need it. Because sometimes when you're working in these projects, sometimes they get hacked. Sometimes somebody adds a malicious drainer. We saw what happened with some dApps and I think it was the Ledger Connect tool. It was draining people's funds, and it took hours for people to realize this was happening. And imagine doing that with your storage wallet versus this is the difference between losing thousands, $10,000s, $100,000 versus $10, $20, $50, $100, right? Still don't want to lose $100, but one situation is clearly worse than the other. So that's sort of like the distinguish factor. Obviously, once again, we're adding more process. We're making it less convenient. I don't care. Safety is so important. I would always sacrifice convenience for peace of mind and safety, ensuring that this doesn't happen to us. Because remember, we are about to get into the full-scale bull run in 2024, 2025. And we want to make sure we get our gains and we keep them. There's no point in letting some scammer take all of our hard work and hard-earned money, okay? So that's pretty much it for the wallet security piece. The second is sort of a lack of security hygiene. So now let's forget about all the stuff that's crypto related, like crypto wallet related, but let's talk about everything else in your ecosystem. So you remember that tweet that I showed you earlier? Well, they said they got access to his socials, his Twitter, and they were deleting a lot of his tweets, etc. Well, this is another reason why you should be using two-factor authentication on everything, 2FA. So you can get a program like Okta, you can get a program like Authenticator from the Google Store, right? Or you can find it on the App Store for Apple as well. And what this does is you can see here, every time you were to log into something, once you set it up, it will give you a code that will change every 30 seconds or 20 seconds. You copy it, you paste it into the app, and you're good to go. This is a way that doesn't matter if someone steals your password and they hack your password through a password leak, because it seems like every day I get a notification, oh, your password was found with a million others in a security leak, and then I have to change it, right? For a specific thing. And this is why also I keep all my passwords different. And I have a password manager that does all that for me too. So that's one. The second is not having a second computer for crypto. So one of the things I do is I have a MacBook, my iMac, and I have another computer. And the reason I do that is I want a computer that I securely only use for crypto. This is my crypto only using computer, right? So I use it to shoot videos on StreamYard, but I'm not doing anything specific here. I go upload somewhere else, okay? But the beauty about this is only for crypto. I'm not going to do anything else. So I'm not going to be downloading games. I'm not doing anything that could install malware on here. And that's another thing, right? I don't want keyloggers. Once again, I've done so much security that even if some of these things happen, it won't be super detrimental, but I don't care. I want to keep my security score as high as possible to mitigate any issues in the future. So one of the things you can do is consider buying a laptop. It doesn't have to be very expensive. These crypto protocols don't use that much CPU, right? So you can probably get a laptop for $400, $500 and just keep that only as your crypto computer. That's it. Have everything bookmarked too. I didn't put that on here. I should have. Bookmark every site you use. The reason I say that is sometimes you'll type in the wrong letter, you're in a rush, you're sleepy, and it may redirect you to a phishing version of that website, and you connect to it, boom, everything gone. Because remember, it doesn't matter that you've got your seed phrase secure, that you've got your MetaMask with a two-factor authentication with the Ledger or something. if you approve a contract to spend X dollars, then what'll happen is they'll be able to do that without your approval because you've already approved it, right? So you don't want to let that happen. And another thing I also forgot to put in here, which we should talk about, is when you are submitting a transaction, especially like a swap on a DEX, like let's say you're trading 200 USDC for some ETH. What I will say is, well, we need access to your USDC, and the default typically is infinite. And you don't want that. You want to just approve what you need to send. So I usually put $1 more than I need to send. Just, if there's I'm usually doing like trades in the other currency. So like, I don't want to put like 200.1257, whatever, just 201. Great. 201 approved to send, done. Then I send it. Then the next time I have to do it, I have to approve the contract again. The gas fees are very minimal unless you're on Ethereum, but hopefully that'll change in the future. And this way, once again, you do not allow contracts out there that have these issues, okay? The next is, a lot of us use Gmail, a lot of us, use other website mail as well, but it's typically not a secure email service. One of the things you can do if you're actually very serious about this, you can go and get the Advanced Protection Program. So this is from Google. This is the strongest security service. You need to get like an iron key. There's some extra stuff you got to do. But once again, it makes it so that your security is top notch for your email. So someone can't just get into it by guessing your password. Oh, oops. I closed the tab I was going to show. Anyways, so that's that one. And then the other thing I would say here is make sure that you do whatever you can to not share as much personal information with people. So we're living in a social media world, right? People know what you've eaten for breakfast. You don't want to be telling them your age, where you live, all these other things. When you do those specific things, like giving them your address, your birthday, whatever, they're able to perform what's called a SIM swap. A SIM swap is when they call your provider of your cell phone and they pretend to be you. And usually they say, oh, well, to authenticate this is the person, can you tell me the last 4 digits of or the last 2 digits of the year you were born and blah, blah, blah. And they're able to do this if you give them a ton of information. And by doing that, they're able to set up a new SIM, get it for themselves, get access to every app, because a lot of people use 2-factor authentication with their phone, but you don't after watching this video, because now you use Okta Verify or Authenticator, and then they're able to take your stuff, right? So this is why, once again, we've got to be secure. If you have your ledger, even with a SIM swap, they're unable to do anything to you from that standpoint, but they're able to steal your social media stuff. And let's say you're a crypto influencer or you have people who listen to you, they're able to use your account now to scam your friends by saying, hey, click this link. I think this is a really good opportunity. And it's a wallet drainer. So that's one more thing you got to think about. And finally, I would say have an antivirus installed. I'm not going to mention the one I have installed, but there are some very good antivirus programs out there. And there are also some applications that you can use to support your security. One of my favorite ones, and probably the one I love the most right now, is called Wallet Guard. Link in the description below. Every time you go to a site that is not legitimate, it will warn you. So it's another layer of defense, right? We're not about making it easy on these scammers. So if you were to go on here and sort of go to a random website, right? Like some sketchy website. Let me just try on this one to see if this is still open. Yeah. So here, here's a website I'm going to show you right now that was hacked. So Canna Labs is a protocol. They got hacked. At least their Discord got hacked. And their Discord got hacked and they replaced it with Canna IABs. And if you were to click on this and you didn't know any better, it would just go there, you connect your wallet, you get drained. Because I have this app installed, it will tell me this website might be harmful, is a suspected wallet drainer, right? That is incredible because once again, if you're half asleep, you're trying to do this really fast, you may not pick up on everything. You want as many things to remind you, to protect you, as many barriers, right? So this is why I love this. And then you can go in here, you can do a scan on your wallet. I'm going to show you this really quickly. If you want a more full in-depth video on WalletGuard and why I think it's so cool. Remember, I'm not sponsored, not affiliated, no kickbacks, no nothing for promoting the service. Check out the video I have linked above. Linked below, but I have it above me as I'm talking. And you can see here, I'm at 100%, but it tells me, okay, well, here are some transactions I should revoke or some contracts I should revoke. Here are some hacks, exploits. I've gotten rid of every single one of them because of this. It tells me when my wallets are out of date. So if, for example, there was an exploit that could have been there in the old version of MetaMask, I'm aware, hey, quickly get it out, get it signed, and let's get going. So this was a pretty lengthy video, I'd say, like about 30 minutes, but I hope you found it very valuable because at the end of the day, this is the most important thing that we could ever talk about. Safety is paramount. Great. Doesn't matter how much you make. You can make $100, $1,000, $1 million. If you don't have your security hygiene in check, it'll all be $0 anyways. You're just working for somebody else. You're giving them your hard-earned money. Do not let them do that to you. Do not let them take away the gains of 2024 and 2025 because we are about to see some incredible euphoria in the space. Hopefully, the ETF gets approved. Knock, knock. It seems very highly likely. And hopefully we'll see that Bitcoin all-time high in 2024. I look forward to seeing that. And, this is my last video before 2023, definitely my last video. So I just want to say I hope you all have a great New Year's. We'll see you in 2024 where we're going to get those massive gains. Did I miss anything else that you can do to improve your crypto security? Comment down below. And if you found value in this video, be sure to like it, be sure to share it, and consider subscribing to the channel. Until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.